Alright, what's up guys? So, WrestleMania has uploaded a video titled WWE have fired over 64 wrestlers in 2021. That is wild. I plan on doing that on my another channel of mine's where I talk on all the different things that they could have done with these wrestlers. Cause I don't think it's this budget cut stuff. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe with some of them, maybe they could have ran with that story at the start of it all. But I'm like, you guys just let go one too many wrestlers. I'm like, look, you guys, I know y'all have making that money back or you're on the track of it. And I'm like, something ain't adding up. There's some stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I'm like, nah, it's definitely not adding up. But anyways, if you guys haven't, make sure you go subscribe to WrestleMania for more videos like this. But in that being said, let's get into this video. See what stuff, because I'm like, I could come up with some of the ideas like right here and now in this video, but it's crazy.
Please leave a message after the tone.
This is the WWE. We've come to terms with your contract. You're released immediately. We hope you enjoyed your stay with the WWE, and one day you may even return. But for now, there's no more matches, no more anything. We wish you the best in your future endeavors.
That was a depressing intro. I'm like, dang, bro, did I just get fired from WWE?
As of November, WWE have released in total 64 wrestlers, with the exception of Samoa Joe, who was actually rehired. And in Ring of Honor releasing its entire roster, and there's now a small army of free agents on the market.
Dang, they released the entire roster? I did hear that they were like gonna go through like some reconstruction to the business, but dang, the entire roster? That's even crazier than WWE.
However, are these releases a good thing for wrestling or a bad thing? Join us as WrestleMania looks at the 2021 releases and whether this is good or bad for the industry. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also, be sure to check us out on TikTok. Now, 2021 has been a wild ride for many wrestlers, as the WWE has released in total 64 wrestlers, and a number of them main event material. Not since the demise of ECW and WCW in 2021 have fans seen a time when...
And that was like, just to get into like one of the stories that I had came up with, or a storyline that I thought, they could at least hire on like maybe some or half of these wrestlers, or maybe even all, who knows. But they could have, because, with Bray Wyatt, like now known as Windham Rotunda, because he has like this whole like cult of Windham thing. So maybe like as the time, like it could have been like that, but or like WWE versus WCW, but it's like WWE versus cult of Windham, and it's like some of the like big name wrestlers of like yesterday, today, and the future, or whoever. And then having it where it's like, then it's like the same with like, the like wrestlers get to like show off their talents and stuff, but then they're also a part of this like cult of Windham, situation. So that's why I just, I think that they just didn't go about it like in a good fashionable way, because I'm like, you guys are so quick to fire these guys. So that's why I'm like, you made your money back, you hired them for a reason, they're obviously talented people, so I'm saying, why get rid of them? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then it's, I don't know, it's, but like I said, that's like one of the stories that I came up with. But anyway,
so many wrestlers found themselves out of work. But let's look at the pros and cons of each. First, we look at the pros, as number one, wrestlers can prove themselves. Now, it's safe to say that many of the released wrestlers have not had many opportunities to shine in the WWE due to bad booking and or just not being used. This has already been seen with former WWE superstars Rusev and Aleister Black succeeding in AEW as Miro and Malachi Black. Likewise, the former Iconics of Peyton Royce and Billy Kay are now Impact's Knockouts Tag Team Champions as the Inspiration, now known as Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay. Rusev and Black quickly got over in AEW because they were consistently used and they were allowed to develop their own characters rather than wandering aimlessly as they did.
Yeah, and that's what I don't like about WWE, where it's like, okay, maybe with like, it's probably like the big name wrestlers where they can come up with any stories or, stuff that they want to do. But it's like, yeah, it's like a lot of these like smaller wrestlers, it's like you're coming up with these stories for him. Because I heard Keith Lee, he didn't like that whole Bearcat Lee thing that he was on. Like what he had beforehand was good. So I don't know why even switch it. But I mean, if you're going to switch it to something that's like, if he's going to be heel, okay, let him be heel. But, like, don't switch it to where... Because I feel like, look, bro's a good wrestler. He came off as a good guy on the mic. So I'm saying, like, you guys could have did something with Keith Lee. Keith Lee's, I believe... no, isn't it his fiance or wife? Regardless, y'all could have did something. Because I was like, I don't think I ever did get a chance to see her, like, in the ring. So that's why I'm like, fam, like, they could have did, like, some mixed tag team stuff. Because I know there was, like, some women wrestlers that was fired, too. So you guys could have had it where, they just got mixed in, because then they have that going on. It was like a mixed tag team thing that was going on a while ago, and they had Bray Wyatt, or not Bray Wyatt, but Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, and then they had like, and then they just don't carry it. Then that underground wrestling segment that Shane McMahon was doing, I'm like, all these different things that you had going on, and you just threw it away. But anyway,
late in their WWE run, the inspiration have quickly reminded fans why they're a fun women's tag team to watch, as opposed to the WWE, where the team was abruptly split up, with both women fading away in the singles ranks.
Yeah.
These cases show that wrestlers have the chance to succeed in other promotions, not only benefiting themselves, but helping their new wrestling homes. Naturally, not every wrestler will succeed outside the WWE, but most should at least have the opportunity that they were given in Titanland. This applies to Ring of Honor releases as well, because a number of them are former WWE superstars who jumped to Ring of Honor after their releases from WWE.
It's crazy.
Number 2, wrestlers can make even more money.
Exactly.
I'm not just talking about
it's
wrestling.
like, because you guys have a YouTube channel, you post, I'm like, all the different videos that you guys can post. And it's like, okay, if you need like, and you can create more channels, you guys got the fan base. I'm saying like the amount of stuff that you could have done, like, it don't add up, all right? Something's just not adding up.
Wrestlers who sign with AEW and turn in their golden ticket for a truckload of Khan cash, as a surprising number of WWE wrestlers don't make that much when you factor in travel costs.
They could even did like matches, because you know how like when they like the pandemic matches where it was like, because who was it? They pushed like off of a, like, not a ledge, but he was dang, what was it? He got put, or was it dang, what is that man's name? Elias. And then Elias get pushed off of like something and he fell. I'm saying you guys could have did like these, these like pre-recorded matches and then posted on the YouTube channel. We're like, oh, such and such is wrestling. So I'm saying like the amount of stuff that you guys could have did. Like you guys have like that training facility, so just be like, like, all right, if you want to watch wrestling like when, like outside of like the hours when it's coming on TV, you got the YouTube channel. Just like you guys are like, oh, let's post a bunch of these like top 10 moments of Brock Lesnar, or top 10 moments of John Cena, or top 10 moments of Batista, or top 10. Like I remember I sat down and watched a crap ton of those videos. I'm like, you guys could like put that effort into like getting these wrestlers back, having them doing wrestling match on the channel. And I'm saying like, see these wrestlers to their full potential. And it's like, okay, because this is how I would do it. All right, looks like y'all gonna start off on the YouTube channel, and then you make a name for yourself on the YouTube channel, and then you're gonna work your way up to NXT. Work your way up to NXT, then you're gonna be like the undercards in the main roster. Then you complete it in the main roster. I'm saying that just gives you time to develop. That gives you time to do whatever you want to do, create the characters you want to create. All of that. But I'm saying like it's they could have did more.
There's also the WWE's recent policy of restricting wrestlers from cashing in on third-party platforms such as Twitch, Cameo, and OnlyFans.
That's crazy.
Anyone who's kept up on that news knows that these platforms can be lucrative for wrestlers, adding as much as 5 or even 6 figures to their income. Wherever wrestlers end up, they should have the chance to profit from their work in the ring as well as their celebrity status. Number 3, it helps smaller promotions. Indie promotions can benefit from the available talent, but so can bigger promotions like Impact, Shimmer, Women of Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, and NWA Power. Adding WWE superstars to a promotion is a good way to bring new viewers to their shows, with the endgame of keeping them tuned in for the entire product. The addition of recognizable stars can also help a promotion gain respectability in the eyes of broadcast partners. For example, cable networks, streaming services, and pay-per-view companies are more likely to consider working with a smaller promotion that have known stars rather than unknown ones. This can mean anything from more lucrative television deals to getting slots on pay-per-view. This in turn can lead to smaller promotions running live events due to increased fan support. Number 4, it helps the indie circuit. The indie circuit has been dying thanks to the pandemic-related shutdowns, but fortunately promoters are finally able to resume their shows. While there are already a number of marketable names on the indie circuit, an influx of former WWE superstars could lead even more fans to the indie scene. And there's room for a new promotion.
Yeah.
And one of the most exciting aspects
of
the
releases,
YouTube
channel,
including the wholesale of Ring of Honor releases, is that there's room for a new promotion. While Ring of Honor's shaky status may make fans think there's too many promotions already, critics have pointed out that Ring of Honor's problems haven't been so much with the product, but with its management. Whether or not that's accurate, let's go with the idea that it is, and there's room for more wrestling. First, there is a huge demand for content, something we've discussed several times before. AEW has shown that the WWE isn't the only game in town anymore, and a look at the TV schedule suggests there are plenty of outlets willing to jump on the wrestling bandwagon, ranging from cable networks to streaming services. Second, the talent available is certainly enough to create and build a new roster. The current crop of free agents can build a solid roster of talent, and in some cases build a roster built to a particular audience, such as high flyers or hardcore wrestlers. A savvy promoter can create a product that incorporates the best of major companies like the WWE and AEW while appealing to fans of New Japan, Impact, and the indie circuit. In the long run, anyone interested in building a new promotion will have to understand the industry and find a way to build a roster without going on a spending spree with no idea of a wrestler's value or reputation. That were the pros. What about the cons? As number 1, it could hurt AEW. All Elite Wrestling might seem like it's got a superstar smorgasbord in front of it, with wrestlers available ranging from curtain jerkers to main eventers. The question isn't who AEW should sign, but why they should sign anyone else. At this point, AEW has so much talent that they can book dream matches for the indefinite future. Frankly, AEW is at the point where they need to stop collecting talent and start figuring out ways to use it to grow their audience. Another signing spree by AEW is the last thing the company needs, and despite AEW's seemingly endless supply of cash, Vince McMahon has to be remembering how bloated WCW's roster was before it went belly up. Number 2, it could hurt aspiring wrestlers. Sadly, the influx of new talent into the job pool will make it harder for aspiring wrestlers to break in. The reality is that promoters are more likely to sign an established star than a rookie, with exceptions of wrestlers who overprice themselves or rookies who are worth giving a shot to, so rookies will have to try much harder to get into the business. However, it's not the end of the world, as we remember when WCW and ECW folded, yet determined rookies found paths to work and in some cases, stardom. Number 3, it can marginalize indie federations. Wrestling should benefit from the influx of new talent, but there's no denying that small promotions will have trouble competing with promotions that bring in former WWE and Ring of Honor wrestlers. While this is likely, history shows that savvy promoters have a way of building new talent when they need to, often creating new stars in the process. Number 4, it can dilute a promotion's identity. A handful of recognizable stars from WWE and Ring of Honor can bring new eyeballs to the show, but how will the fans feel if they feel their favorite promotion is being a watered down version of the WWE? That's a common complaint with some AEW fans who feel there are too many former WWE superstars in the company. Will a booker change what works for their promotion to fit the influx of new talent? Ultimately, a promoter will have to weigh the risks of losing existing fans over the likelihood of growing a big enough base to justify the change in direction. But at the same time, a promotion doesn't have to book new stars at the expense of existing ones or change its identity. It's merely a concern. Number 5, the WWE can be more selective with signing talent.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, don't sign them if you know you're going to get rid of them and stuff.
Fans feel about the WWE, the promotion remains synonymous with professional wrestling, although Vinnie Mac would prefer we use the term sports entertainment. That means when top athletes like Chad Gable consider a career in wrestling, the WWE often seems like the only place to go. That's a major obstacle for any promotion looking to move into the top prospect. The WWE has a smaller payroll to manage, which means more money for the company to fork over to blue-chip athletes. And lastly, wrestling could lose foreign talent. The wrestling industry in the US could suffer a loss of foreign talent, something recently brought up after the release of Katrina Cortez. Cortez, who had been working on NXT, tweeted the terrible news that at 18, I made the decision to travel to an unknown country. Without knowing English, I came here. Today, I received an email telling me that my visa expires next month and I will have to sell everything that with much love and effort I have achieved. A foreign wrestler faces tremendous obstacles when they're unemployed, not only due to the loss of their job, but their ability to stay in the US if they are residing under a work visa. The case can be made that the
That's
WWE's releases have
crazy.
created an unstable situation for aspiring foreign wrestlers who may not want to risk signing with the company and dealing with the possibility of a short stay due to a sudden release. But what do you guys think of the releases?
Crazy.
Do you think it's good or bad? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
I think it's bad. I didn't realize that was. I seen where people was talking about her. I didn't realize it was that bad. Dang, that's crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the amount of stuff that they could have did with these wrestlers, and you know they did it. I'm like, even with her, it's like you guys could have had like, you know, so like all the different women that she could have went up against. Like you guys could have made these wrestlers into big name wrestlers. I'm saying when they're on literally the biggest wrestling platform in the whole world, like you guys could have did something with them, had them make some sort of name for themselves, but you didn't. So it's like whether it had been on the mic or whether it had been them in the ring, but it's like y'all could have did something with them. That's what I was saying. Like they should have it where it's like, okay, you know, you make a name for yourself, like on the YouTube channel, the NXT main roster, and then you know you just main event and whatever. So it's like these wrestlers got big names and all of that stuff. So at least then, I mean, if they do get like, you know, let go from another, or you know, from WWE, it's like, okay, at least they made a name for themselves. At least like, okay, I go to any other business, I know it's gonna be good for me because it's just gonna bring in more people and stuff. So I'm saying like you guys could have did something, but it's WWE. They just come off as a business that's just thinking for themselves. They ain't really thinking about nobody else. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. But anyways, no, this is a pretty good video. Shout out to WrestleMania for more, you know, for putting this video together. Make sure you go subscribe to them for more videos like this one. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.